Welcome to Civics with an Ukulele Player. So, the Trump administration's actions to freeze federal funding are the opposite of small government. In political discourse, when we are talking about small government, we're not really talking about the number of agencies or the number of people working in government or even the amount of spending. We're talking about small in relation to power. In theory, a small federal government doesn't intervene as much in the lives of its citizens, and state governments retain a significant amount of power. And in the same way, state governments should concede as much power as possible to local governments, city and county governments. When those guys were writing the Constitution back in the day, they weren't trying to create the smallest possible government. The Articles of Confederation had been ratified already, but the power it granted to the central government was so small that it wasn't working very well. But they still didn't want a monarchy. They were trying to strike a balance. And so, in order to do that, they created the three branches of government with checks and balances and guardrails, all of that stuff. And they specifically enumerated the powers they gave those branches. So Article 1, Section 8, Clause 1 of the U.S. Constitution says, "The Congress shall have power to lay and collect taxes, duties, imposts, and excises, to pay the debts, and provide for the common defense and the general welfare of the United States." We call this colloquially the power of the purse. Currently, the law provides that the president creates a budget and sends it to Congress, and Congress must ratify it. But that's by statute. The Constitution doesn't guarantee the president any control over the budget at all. It gives the power of the purse to Congress. The Office of Management and Budget, the OMB, monitors federal agencies and administers the budget, but it doesn't get to decide where our taxes go. So this funding freeze is clearly unconstitutional. The law around this isn't vague at all. What's particularly interesting is that right now, if Trump wanted to radically re-engineer the budget, the Republicans control both the House and the Senate. He could do it legally. But instead, he's still trying to grab the power from our Congress and override the Constitution. In short, an autocrat is only one person, but they have all the power, and that is not small government. This has been Civics with an Ukulele Player.